Name of subject, internal combustion engines. Name of chapter, introduction. Name of topic, comparison or difference between 4-stroke and 2-stroke engines. Contents, comparison or difference between 4-stroke and 2-stroke engines. Dear friends, to understand the difference, we are moving to see the notes part. So again, in the last few lectures, we already discussed about the different things about the engine, and in the last lecture, we discussed the difference between the SI engine and CI engine. So in relation with that, here we are going to understand the difference between 4-stroke and the 2-stroke engine. So as we already learned theoretically as well as thoroughly the working principle and the construction of 4-stroke engine as well as the construction and working of 2-stroke engine. So this question is again very important to understand the difference between these two types of engines, and many of times this kind of a difference will ask to you in your examination. Okay, we can say this is a kind of difference or this is a kind of comparison between the 4-stroke engine and the 2-stroke engine. Okay, so as we already know, in the case of 4-stroke engine, a cycle is completed in 4 stroke of the piston and 2 revolution of the crankshaft, whereas 1 power stroke is obtained in every 2 revolution of the crankshaft. So as we know, for completion of 4 stroke of the piston, there will be always 2 revolution of the crankshaft. Mean crankshaft will rotate in 360 plus 360, that is 720-degree rotation of the crankshaft. And for completion of 1 power stroke, there is a requirement, that is 1 power stroke is obtained in every 2 revolution of the crankshaft. Means suction, compression, expansion and exhaust. And at the end of compression stroke, the power stroke will happen, and for that particular power stroke, or it will be obtained in every 2 revolution of the crankshaft in the case of 4-stroke engine. Similarly, when we talk about the 2-stroke engine, the complete cycle, the cycle is completed in only 2 stroke of the piston and only 1 revolution of the crankshaft. 1 power stroke is obtained in every revolution of the crankshaft. Okay, so this is the basic difference between 4-stroke and 2-stroke engine. The 2 strokes are completed within only 1 revolution of the crankshaft, means 360-degree rotation of the crankshaft, and the power stroke will be obtained in each revolution of the crankshaft. Okay, that is the basic difference. In the case of 4-stroke engine, the power stroke is obtained in every 2 revolution of the crankshaft, but in the case of 2-stroke engine, the power stroke will be obtained in every revolution of the crankshaft. So this is the first basic comparison between 4-stroke and 2-stroke engine. So in the case of 4-stroke engine, the second one, that is engine is heavy and bulky because so many mechanical components are there. Valves mechanism is there, crankshaft, connecting rod, piston, cylinder, different mechanical things are again present in the case of 4-stroke engine. That's why engine is always heavy and bulky, and whereas the 2-stroke engine is light in weight and compact. So the basic reason behind this one is what? The valves are replaced by the ports in the case of 2-stroke engine. That's why the different mechanisms to operate the valves are directly eliminated in the case of 2-stroke engine. That's why it is always it will always light and compact in size, light in weight and compact in size. So this is the second difference. The third one, in the case of 4-stroke engine, lesser cooling and lubrication requirement, whereas in the case of 2-stroke engine, greater cooling and lubrication is required. So why this will happen in the case of 4-stroke and 2-stroke? So in the case of 4-stroke engine, we know suction, compression, expansion, exhaust. These are the separate cycles or separate strokes. Okay, means initially engine move from TDC to BDC, that complete suction, then compression, then expansion, and then exhaust. So during the process of 4-stroke cycle, it has a sufficient time. Okay, for suction there is a sufficient time, for compression also, for expansion also, and for exhaust also. Okay, so in this case there is a lesser amount of cooling is required as well as lesser amount of lubrication is required because the different process has a sufficient time. Okay, but when we compared with the two-stroke engine, the huge amount of heat will be generated because suction compression will happen simultaneously and expansion and exhaust happen simultaneously. So the huge amount of heat is generated in the case of two-stroke engine, so that the greater cooling is required. Okay, so in the case of four-stroke engine, as I told you earlier, there is a sufficient time for the different processes, but for the same processes in the case of two-stroke engine, the limited time is available. That's why the greater cooling and lubrication required. Okay, that's why the basic reason why four-stroke engine will produce a less pollution, because the complete process takes place with the help of all the different processes like suction, compression, expansion, exhaust, and with that sufficient time. Whereas the same processes will again happen, but in the case of two-stroke engine, there will be a less time. Suction, compression will happen simultaneously, expansion, exhaust will happen simultaneously, and such kind of engine will produce the huge kind of what we can say pollution. That's why right now the such kind of engines are outdated. Okay, this is the basic reason behind why the two-stroke engines are now outdated or we are not using commercially. Okay, so before 10 to 15 years for auto rickshaws, every auto rickshaw is fitted with the two-stroke engine. But now the auto rickshaws also fitted with the four-stroke engine. The basic reason is that is a pollution. Okay, always two-stroke engine creates or generates the more pollution than the four-stroke engine. The next difference, that is lesser rate of wear and tear in the case of four-stroke engine, whereas in the case of two-stroke engine there is always a greater rate of wear and the tear. Then in the case of four-stroke engine, it contains valves and valve mechanism as we know, whereas in the case of two-stroke engine there is no any kind of a valves, but only ports mechanisms are present or only ports are present. Okay. Similarly, in the case of four-stroke engine, the initial cost is high because engine is heavy and bulky and too much mechanical components are present. Valves mechanism, piston, cylinder, connecting rod, different mechanisms are again there. So as compared with the four-stroke engine, the initial cost of two-stroke engine is low because it is a compact and very less mechanical components are present. Valves are not present in the case of two-stroke engine. That's why its initial cost is low. Okay, so initially because of its cost, two-stroke engine was very much popular in the market because its cost was very low as compared with the four-stroke engine. Okay, but there was very much disadvantages of two-stroke engine. That's why it is now outdated. This is the another reason because of that two-stroke engine is nowadays outdated one. The next difference, 7 difference or comparison between two-stroke and four-stroke. In the case of four-stroke engine, the volumetric efficiency is more due to greater time of induction, means greater time of suction is available in the case of four-stroke engine, whereas in the case of two-stroke engine, the volumetric efficiency is less because always there will be a very less time is available for suction. As I told you earlier, suction and compression happen simultaneously, so only half time takes for the suction as compared with the petrol engine, as compared with the four-stroke engine. Okay, so the volumetric efficiency in the case of two-stroke engine is always less. The next one, thermal efficiency of four-stroke engine is higher and the thermal efficiency of two-stroke engine is lower one. And when we talk about the application for four-stroke engine, where the efficiency is important, always there is a use of four-stroke engine like in cars, buses, tractors, industrial prime movers, etc., etc. And for two-stroke engine, where low cost is important, compactness is important, and lightweight is important, that is used in the mopeds, small automotives, or some compact applications, etc., etc. If you take the example of lawn mowers, there is always use of two-stroke engine because the compactness and lightweight as well as the low cost is essential. So this is all about for the comparison or difference between the four-stroke and two-stroke engine. So hope you understood the difference between these two things. This is again very important point. So thank you so much for watching today's lecture. Thanks a lot.